Okay, hello, we're group 7. My name is Erica Aras. We have Michael Rodella, Mariana Vasquez, and Gabriela Nazario.
All right, so our group chose the El Paso Child Guidance Center, which is a local agency that specializes in providing mental health services and resources for children, parents, and caretakers. This agency was founded in 1954 by a group of citizens that believed that El Paso needed an agency that met the needs of young individuals. So this was actually the first agency that focused on this population here in El Paso. The El Paso Guidance Center is also accredited by the Council on Accreditation, which seeks to improve child welfare. And this accreditation shows how competent this agency is with working with this population. The missions of the El Paso Child Guidance Center is to use services, education, and awareness to improve the mental health and well-being of children and their families. They also hope to create a safe and inclusive environment for these individuals to learn and grow. And the agency never turns anyone away, regardless of their financial situation, sexual orientations, or physical limitations, which is very helpful and crucial for families here in El Paso.
So the Paso Child Guidance Center provides several services to children individually, their families, caregivers, anybody who's involved with children, like teachers, foster families, or youth involved organizations. So the agency itself, when it's treating individuals and families, they like to focus on trauma-informed care. So they treat symptoms of anxiety, depression. They also do behavioral health services. They help parents knowing how to navigate the child's different emotions and like their behaviors at school. And they also specialize with doing traumatic life events. They have on-site psychiatric services. They provide services for survivors of crime. And they have a lot of different behavioral health services like parent-child interaction therapy, trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing therapy. They do motivational interviewing, critical incident stress management, and even play therapy. And that's just with the families and the children themselves. They also offer other services like psychotherapy, psychiatric services. I think I mentioned that before. And they use evidence-based practices, psychoeducation, and they also do case management. So they have a complete cohesive mental health service. And then on top of that, they have a system of care services department. So this is where they do most of their community outreach, and they focus and do trainings with parents, with caregivers. They do evaluations for youth-focused companies or organizations throughout the El Paso as well. And they do a lot of training, education, and they also conduct evaluations of programs and services that those organizations provide.
So for the annual reports, that's the financial information for an organization according to the Better Business Bureau that includes income, expenses, net assets, and financial statements, including fundraising and administrative categories. In the COA, since they're accredited by the COA, the agency should be providing sound operations that includes their financial operations, but we were not able to obtain their annual records through their website. We did do some research and we found information from other websites. One of them was Cause IQ, and they stated that the total revenues for 2019 was $2,260,954 for total expenses. I'm sorry, that's the total revenues. The total expenses were $1,777,750 for the total asset, or I'm sorry, I'm gonna say that again. So it was $2,260,954 for the total revenues. The total expenses were $1,707,750, and the total assets were $1,088,003, and that they employed 33 people. But because this was like an outside source, we can't confirm that any of this information is true. But we did find that some fundraising information, they've raised $11,000, a little more than $11,000 to the Paso del Norte Community Foundation. They do an annual giveaway. So that's where some of their fundraising money has gone. And we also found that they receive funding, direct funding from United Way of El Paso. And that's an organization that focuses on improving the lives of local families.
Speaking of fundraisers, they have several different kinds of fundraisers that the El Paso Child Guidance Center has. Like the one here on the website right here, Raise the Roof on Mental Health. This one you just donate so they could help expand their building so they could be able to help host and take care of more people in our community. They also have this interesting one like called the Roast, where they have like, where if you pay, you can visit and see the dinner for people who are roasting. They've had like guests like the former mayor of El Paso and the former director of the UMC, and they get roasted, and it just sounds like a good time there. They also have another fundraiser called Seed of Hope. This one's specifically to help out children who don't have the fund, like children suffering through quarantine right now, but the parents don't have the funds to help them. So based on that fundraiser, they were able to help some children who were having trouble during this pandemic and help them adjust so they could adapt better in this whole pandemic. Also, if you're interested in getting involved, they have volunteer services. If you're interested, you could help do stuff like painting the walls, moving furniture, buying furniture, and then a good example of that is our own honor society, Chi Sigma Iota, recently had landscaped around the whole Paso Child Guidance Center and even provide the materials for that. And if you're interested in internships, they offer them here if you wanted to work with children. So if you're about to start your internship, you could possibly choose this one as one of them. And then afterwards, we tried finding someone to interview, like an LPC or coordinator, but it was very hard for us. So eventually we had to interview one of the front desk people, which they did provide some interesting information. Like they told us about how they have this grant system where people in our community had provided grants to help people who were going through things such as the El Paso Walmart shooting or the pandemic. Like this is our own community helping out people, and it was a really interesting thing to hear. And from what she said, it sounds like this is something that only the El Paso Child Guidance Center does. So I thought that was really interesting. They also shared that even though it's the El Paso Child Guidance Center, they also help adults. So if you're interested, not only children are there, you could also go there. They even offer a free virtual session for like their first session if you're interested, or have someone who's interested in getting involved in that. And yeah, and based on what they said, they really are willing to help anyone in our community, even if they're not U.S. citizens. So I thought that was really cool and interesting to know. And yeah, that's our presentation on the El Paso Child Guidance Center. Thank you all for listening, and goodbye.